East Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at netsn.live.
Yeah. I'm ready. Well, good Friday night, everybody, from Wildcat Stadium. I am Keith Whitman with Chris Brody. I got Zach, my producer, to my left, and Nathan on the camera. We have a big showdown tonight between the Mount Pleasant Tigers and the Whitehouse Wildcat. It is homecoming night here in Whitehouse, Texas, and they have a big show for us tonight on the football field. Chris, how's it going, man? How you doing tonight?
Hey, Keith, I'm doing great, man. Thank you for being here. You know, it's appropriate that you're in the box tonight on homecoming night because for you, this is a homecoming.
It is. You are correct. It is a homecoming. When I saw it on my schedule, I looked and I saw the homecoming, and I was like, well, isn't that apropos? I'm class of 1997 for the Whitehouse Wildcats, and it is exciting to be here with you tonight. I appreciate you allowing me to kind of take over a little bit and cover for your normal guy that's here, Josh, who is off on sabbatical right now for the week.
We're not going to feel too bad for Josh. He is struggling.
Oh, I am sure.
In Hawaii with his wife celebrating their anniversary.
So he's having a good time, and I'm sure he's probably going to listen to this, or if he's listening now, we say hello to him, and I hope he's having a good time. But we hope and glad that you're watching with us tonight, and you've joined us. We've got a good game tonight between these two teams. Start of district tonight here in East Texas. And going to kind of throw it to Chris a little bit to talk about what we have in store for tonight's game. Let's start with the Whitehouse Wildcats, since you this is your team basically for the season with you and Josh. And so tell us what to expect for tonight's game.
Well, let's start with last week. Last week we made the trip up to Oklahoma, or so it seemed, to play against Paris. And it was a beautiful evening. And the night started out with some fireworks. It was kind of exciting, back and forth touchdowns. But as the night unfolded, Whitehouse fell behind in terms of the turnover battle. And the offense struggled to pass the ball efficiently. And for the first time ever, we saw a little bit of difficulty running the ball. The run game had been very successful, even through difficult games. You put enough grit behind it and you can succeed. And there were some struggles last week. Zamaje Mosley, 115 yards and a touchdown rushing. Zion Alexander catching the ball, had 4 for 101 and 2 touchdowns, but that was really the only fireworks that the Wildcats were able to light up last week. We're expecting, 4 weeks have gone by now. The coaches they kind of have a good understanding of the guys on the field and how they're going to compete. And so we anticipate, like we saw last week with some changes, we're going to see some tonight as well. Looking to maximize opportunities for playmakers to get the ball in space and maybe make some plays on offense. Quarterback Austin Holmes, who has really been able to move ahead over the last couple of weeks in his pocket proficiency and his vision. And I think the game slowed down a little bit for him. He looked a little overwhelmed, I think, in the first game or two. But we're going to see more of him playing the quarterback position tonight. And JoJo's going to line up at wide receiver or running back a bit. And they're going to try to get him a chance to get the ball out in the open, not take such a beating like we've seen him take the last few games. And yeah, hopefully that can open up some things and take Mount Pleasant by surprise. Mount Pleasant is coming to this game. They're 0-4. And if you look at their schedule, the teams that they've played against are combined 16-0. And that looks like they've gone through the murderer's row, but that's not really the reality of it. In their biggest blowout game against Crandall, they were lining up in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left to kick a field goal and take the lead. And the field goal was blocked, returned for a touchdown, subsequent turnover and touchdown. And so things have gotten away from them very quickly. And for them, their Achilles heel has been special teams. So tonight, when it comes to a punt after a disappointing 3-and-out sort of thing, don't walk away. Don't not pay attention, because crazy stuff can happen on special teams tonight. That's what we're expecting. And you know, we're hoping for a good game. We're hoping for a competitive game. We'd love to see the Whitehouse Wildcats put it together and build some momentum for themselves going into district play. But this is an opportunity to plant a flag, make a statement here at the beginning of the district season.
And I think you're correct. And with that last statement, it is the start of district. So really and truly, you wipe the slate clean.
Yep.
And the Wildcats are going to come into this and with a renewed, I think, focus, like you were talking about. So they've got to come out and they've got to wipe. They've got to look. They can't look behind them. They've got to look in front, and they've got to say, okay, here we go. We're 0-0 on the season now, because this is where it starts. This is where we have to go. So they have to come into this game and they have to kind of claw their way to the end of the season, and it starts here with a win tonight against the Tigers. And you're right. I've looked at this schedule for the Tigers. Crandall, Lindale, Terrell, Sulphur Springs. It has not been an easy start for the Tigers. So they're going to be coming out in the same way to look for starting their district with a big win as well against the Wildcats. So I think it's going to be a fantastic game that we're going to be privy to, and so are you watching from wherever you're watching. By the way, if you are, we would love for you to join our chat. Let us know where you're watching from, and you know, we'd like to see where you're watching from and who you're rooting for. Of course, you know, we like the Wildcats here. We love doing on that side. And here come the Tigers onto the field, and if I'm correct, I believe we're going to go for the national anthem here in just a second. Let's see that. Chris, you have anything else you want to add real quick before we do the national anthem?
Well, when you compare these two teams and you look at points scored and points allowed, they're very similar. Whitehouse has scored a few more points. They average 25 a game. Mount Pleasant averages 20. And points allowed, Whitehouse has allowed more. They've allowed 40 points per game, and Mount Pleasant has allowed 34. So in terms of the numbers, and the paper says this should be a good game, and that's what we're hoping for tonight, an opportunity for Whitehouse to build some momentum and start things well.
So we're going to go to the field for the national anthem, and I believe the Whitehouse choir is going to serenade us. So here we go for the national anthem. beautiful job by the Whitehouse Choir giving us the national anthem, and the captains are getting ready to come out on to the field. And the captains for the Wildcats looks like number 6, JoJo Adams. Number 0, Kadavian Pickens. Number 51 is going to be Falu Allen Franklin in Daye. And number 26 is going to be Marcus Franklin. Those are the captains for the Wildcats. Captains for the Tigers is going to be number 3, Ashad Smith. Number 2, Deuce Thompson. And number 1, Nehemiah Savage. And so they're going to come out. We're going to see who's going to have the ball to start off this game. And I don't know, and you tell me because you've been to the games. Does Whitehouse usually defer to the second half, or do they usually take the kickoff? How have they done so far this season with the coin tosses?
Typically, the team that wins the coin toss here at the beginning is going to defer to the second half and end up starting on defense.
Again, Chris is the one. He's your resident Wildcat broadcaster here. I am just a guest tonight, but I appreciate being allowed to be here and love doing this and love being here for homecoming. Got a great crowd on the Whitehouse side. It's still coming in. I can see them pouring into the stadium. Of course, there's more people, I believe, at the concession stand right now trying to get something.
Yeah, there you go. Mount Pleasant won the toss. They'll defer. Whitehouse will start on offense unless they absolutely lost their mind.
Right. And that'll be something that they'll need. Referee and the PA announcer talking over each other. I was talking over as well. But this is, Whitehouse receiving the ball. They're going to need to get on the board fast. And because coming out of the half, they're not going to get the ball. So they're going to have to get ahead. They're going to have to get things going. And this first possession is going to set the tempo and the momentum of this game.
Yeah, and the reality is, with some of the troubles that Mount Pleasant has had on special teams, they could start this game off really quick right here. I think at least one of the games, Mount Pleasant allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown. And I think it was one of the opening kickoffs for one of the games. Don't know which one. We were talking with the radio guys earlier, and they were talking about some of the problems that Mount Pleasant has had on special teams. They haven't been very special for Mount Pleasant this year. So here is an opportunity for Whitehouse to build momentum right from the start.
You got Alberto Alvila ready to kick off for the Tigers.
That may be the biggest kicker I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's a large young man. Here's the kick, and it's going to be a little pooch kick over to the 35-yard line, and a fair catch is called for. And I believe number 5 is Aiden Wright. He's going to be the one that makes the catch. That's where the Wildcats will start this game. They're going to mark him at the 36.
Not a bad start. Clean catch.
Hey, no fumbles, no nothing.
There we go. Yep, we've only got about 2/3 of the field to travel to hit the end zone.
Oh, a flag already. I didn't see that coming. Did you see that?
So they weren't lying when they said special teams were just a struggle for
Good
Mount
night.
Pleasant. They're going to gift Whitehouse 5 more yards on the kickoff by being offsides.
Well,
They had some guys lined up in a line, and then they had a couple guys in front of that. I think, I don't know.
Was somebody must have been, somebody must have been in front of the ball. But I thought I saw something back. I don't know. I did not see a flag, but again, I was looking back there. But now, instead of 1st and 10 from the 36, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 41 for the Wildcats on their own side of the ball. And here we go.
Already great field position. Okay, that's new.
Oh, that's a interesting formation. And pass to the outside. Austin Holmes with the pass. A good run.
Threw it to JoJo, and it looked like JoJo had a run pass option there because it was a backward pass to JoJo. He had the opportunity to throw it or run it. He took a look down the field and opted to run, picked up what appears to be minimal yardage.
It got it looks like a 3-yard gain. Wasn't sure what that formation was.
They had the tackle split out and a tight end on each side.
That's interesting.
They only had 3 in the middle blocking. Back in the day when I was coaching, we had fun with formations like that from time to time.
Holmes in the pistol. He gets it hand. Flag on the play.
don't know that Whitehouse was fully set there. Once you get into the spot where you're going to start the play from, you've got to be fully set for a long second count.
Right.
And based on the fact that they stop the play from happening, that's usually an indication that it's on the offense.
I've never heard all 11 players as being called on a penalty. Mosley, Zamaje Mosley was the one who would have gotten the carry.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, we got Holmes out there at the quarterback position, and it's on the quarterback to make sure everybody's set before the ball snap. And this is his first start this year, and he's probably a little nervous and wanted to get things going quickly. Unfortunately, a little too quickly.
Twins to the left. Holmes in the backfield. He's going to hand it off Mosley. Mosley up the middle, bounces out to the right-hand side after the hole just collapsed, and he lost a couple of yards on that play. That's going to back him up further behind the original line of scrimmage. So now it's going to be third down and I believe 14 for the Wildcats with 11:31 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant, obviously, it looks like they're here to play the run. They're going to take away Whitehouse's opportunity to run the ball, especially at the middle. At the time that the tackle was made, every single Tiger defender was what we call within the box, in the area between the tight ends, just a yard or two off the line of scrimmage. And as you can see, they've got no safety deep.
Right. And Holmes back, looks to the right-hand side, has a receiver open and is caught. And I believe that is going to be...
That's Zion, number 2.
Yeah, Zion Alexander.
Great catch. Just up a little short because of the lost yardage on the run and the penalty.
And I believe they're going to get the punt team out, but it is going to be 4th down and 3 for the Wildcats.
Austin Holmes, the punter, has been a weapon this year. I know it's difficult to say that because of the end result of games, but especially that Kilgore game, that could have been a lot worse had we not had seen very strong punting and the ability to back the teams back.
Jaden Lewine back deep for the Tigers on the return. A little a duck-worthy of a punt, but a good bounce there right until the end, and then it took a sideways bounce, but it's going to be a good spot for the Wildcats there as the Tigers are going to have it deep in their own territory, 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. Really not the start offensively that the Wildcats wanted here in this first district game.
Yeah, I mean, basically what happens is they're going to flip the field and they're going to play defense, have a chance to play defense. But yeah, you're right, especially with the little wrinkle there on offense. Would have loved to seen them be able to get the ball down the field and score.
And really, I think they could have. Unfortunately, that little penalty that just, I think the nerves got them, kind of moved them back because they were moving the ball. But unfortunately, sometimes those penalties happen. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and your running back's going to be Brandon McCoo. And he kind of bounces around in the middle and gains a 1-yard gain. I think he ran 5 or 6 yards and only gained 1.
Yeah, they had that blocked well at the line of scrimmage. The 5 offensive linemen blocking the 3 down linemen for Whitehouse. But he was dancing around there and let the second-level defenders, those linebackers, come and knock him down.
Carter Cook behind in a shotgun formation, no huddle offense, getting to take a 1 or 2 step drop, throws to the right-hand side, has a receiver in the seam, and no! Just a little in front of him. He couldn't get it. Intended receiver was Tony Grant, but I believe we may have a flag on the play. No, it's a helmet on the play.
That was wild. There was some kind of serious breakdown on defense there. There was 2 wide receivers from Mount Pleasant running open behind the defense. Well, it does look like there was a penalty.
Yeah.
Ripping the helmet off, in fact, is the penalty. And that could have been a heck of a lot worse for Whitehouse with 2 players running behind the defense.
Yeah, they had. You are correct. They had 2 that were wide open. Something happened as far as the communication wise, like you said, on the defense. The player who had the helmet ripped off was number 53, Garrett Brown. He gets to stay in the game because it was done in the during a penalty. And it's going to be another handoff to McCoo. McCoo finds a hole on the right-hand side, starts to the left, but he does gain about 6 yards on the play, maybe 5.
I don't know that was intentional, but he definitely started running outside tackle to the left.
Yes.
It was defended very well by the Whitehouse defense. there was no hole there, and he literally cut back the other direction and found himself about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, he went against the grain on that because the Wildcats were going one way. He went the other and gained a good gain. Second down.
That's a very large tight end, number 1.
Another handoff. That's going to be to Grant. Tony Grant, number 0 on the carry to the right-hand side off the tackle. Another gain of about 6 yards. That's going to be a first down. Actually, it goes 8 yards. Gets to about the 30. No, they're going to mark him at the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of teams have said that we're going to start. We're going to attack Whitehouse right up the middle and force them to have to man up, make tackles. And you can see 3 tight ends there that are very large are going to be lead blockers for Mount Pleasant. And part of the pass game here.
Or the left-hand side. Yeah, row to the left-hand side by Cook. He throws the pass. It is a completed pass to the tight end, Landon Cheatham. One of those 3 large tight ends that they kind of leave in tandem. And I have noticed they go to the what we used to call the weak side, but to the different side. You have, I believe, Kadavian Pickens. It looks like whenever he moves, and it may not be every time, but wherever he moves, those tight ends will shift to a different side sometimes, depending on the formation of the Tigers.
They're playing a little chess out there with
Yeah.
how they manipulate the lineup.
And they just moved one. It's under center for the quarterback. That's going to be Grant. He's going to take it to the outside, finds a hole, cuts up, and gets past midfield. And I thought he got further than that, but they're going to mark him at the 50-yard line. Is enough for a first down.
Yeah, they're getting about 5 yards a pop here on offense. And if you're Whitehouse, you're going to have to come up with something to try to trip this up, force them into some negative yardage situation. We saw how that affected Whitehouse on the first drive. It kind of, prevented for any momentum from the very start.
7:44 left in the first quarter. Thompson in motion. And we got a little move to the outside. That's Carter Cook. He's down the sideline, gets to the 30, down to the 24-yard line, taken out of bounds. And that's going to be number 18, Malachi Allen, that takes him out of bounds. But a good run by the Tigers.
Yeah, they schemed that up really well. They ended up with 4 blockers in front of the quarterback running the ball around the outside. And I don't care how strong your defense is, how well set up it is. If you've got 4 lead blockers on an outside run, you're going to have space.
Right. Had kind of a speed option look, but that was a quarterback sneak all the way.
Yeah.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Ball on the 24-yard line. Cook, handoff. And he's hit, but he keeps on running. I believe that's, trying to see who the carrier is. It's going to be, I believe, Thompson maybe. Can't see who that is. Chris, can you see? Oh, that's 0. That's going to be Grant.
Yeah, Whitehouse had that defended well in the backfield. Running back was able to just sidestep the defensive end and get around the edge. That's one of those ones you'd love back. You got, maybe 9 or 10 guys on the same page. One guy misses something and ends up being a big gain for the other team. We've seen too much of that through 4 weeks.
I formation. Cook under center. He's going to hand off again to Grant. Grant up the middle. Doesn't get very far. Very good defensive play by the Wildcats. Number 77.
Yeah, Dudley there playing the nose. He's happy to be out there providing some size on the defensive line.
As a center, I would not want to line up against him. I was a center. I don't want
Yeah.
no sir.
Yeah, that was needed and played well on that one. Held them to no gain.
And that'll bring up a second down. Second down and 10 from the, looks like, 13-yard line.
This is the first time they've no gain or negative yards.
Right.
Not giving up positive yards. Let's see if we can.
McCoo to the right of Cook. Cook, he's going to hand off to McCoo. McCoo finds a little hole to the right-hand side. And Dudley chases him down and kind of grabs him and pulls McCoo back. Gain of 5 on the play.
I don't know what happened there. It looked as though all of a sudden Whitehouse did not have much strength on the edge of the defensive line, and they were able to get around the outside. And it wasn't like they brought a bunch of blockers like they did earlier in the drive. It just happened to be some sort of technical mismatch where Mount Pleasant was able to find a way to outmaneuver the edge.
So it's going to be 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Carter in the backfield. McCoo to his right.
False start, number
Oh.
2.
And that's going to back him up. Good news for the Wildcats. Let's see what. So that's on Deuce Thompson.
Yeah, he's their big play wide receiver. He just moved one of his feet, and they threw that flag. You get lined up, you find your spot, you're on the line of scrimmage, you can't move. All right.
So we got a.
No. Please start it.
All right, got a little scolding going on by the referee.
Whitehouse is not happy with
No.
Oh well.
There we go. So 3rd down and 10 to go. Cook is going to take a 3. Oh, he's hit as he throws, but it's still a catch. And that catch is by Thompson, but he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, great job out there fighting through blocks on the outside. Tried to set up an outside wide receiver screen. Tons of pressure up the middle. And great job by the defensive backs outside fighting through blocks to make that an actual, that's a tackle for loss right there.
Yeah, it was. And Carter Cook got hit really hard as he threw that ball. And impressive that he made the throw, but more impressive that whoever came up, I didn't see who came up the middle, but they knocked the tar out of him.
So here's an opportunity for Whitehouse. Something crazy happened on the field goal.
Avila kick is up.
Oh.
And it is good.
It's good. They had a good rush up the middle. They were able to break through the line, but not get a hand up and hit the ball.
And that is a very good defensive play for the Wildcats. We're going to go to a break right now, and we'll be right back. You're watching NETSN. We'll see you in a minute.
Today's real estate market is loud. Rates are up, homes sit longer, and your cousin's advice is straight from TikTok. You don't need someone to sell you something. You need someone to walk you through it.
I'm Jamie Whitley, your local expert in the calm in your real estate storm. If life's telling you it's time to make a move, I'll help you do it without making you lose your mind or your money. Let's find your next move together.
And we are back here at Wildcat Stadium. The Tigers lead 3-0. Wildcats do a good job to keep them out of the end zone. But the Tigers were trying to get through. The Wildcats defense kind of stiffened up a little bit towards the end there.
Yeah, we
did a good job.
Bend, don't break.
Yeah.
Move by the defense there. And
some positiveness to go on there. That was good to look at and good to see from the Wildcats.
yeah, I mean, Mount Pleasant's happy they come away with points. Whitehouse is happy they stopped that drive and forced a field goal. Would have been great for them to. Oh, here's an interesting one.
Yeah. Now the Tigers didn't have that same setup that they had earlier, so I don't know if they didn't get the penalty flag.
They did a good job of covering that. If special teams has been their Achilles heel, especially covering kickoffs, then they must have worked on that well because they covered that quite well. Whitehouse is going to start this one at the 26.
And it'll be their second offensive try of the game. First down and 10 from the 26-yard line.
Looks like Holmes is still going to be at the quarterback position with
And
JoJo and Alexander. Oh, Diarra out there?
I think it's going to have Mosley. It looks like Mosley's going to be behind
In the
him.
backfield.
Oh, in the back, yeah. It's going to be handoff Mosley up the middle, and he smacks one of the defenders down, but he only gains about a yard. A lot of heavy running and hard running, but only gained a yard on the play.
Yeah, that was.
It's a hard gain yard.
Yes, unfortunately for Whitehouse, it feels like every positive step is agonizing and requires just an enormous amount of strength and grit and just to get steps forward. It's been difficult, and you know, these are guys, you just want to encourage them. Hey, keep it up, keep up the faith, be there for one another. You're playing for one another. You're playing to represent your family, your community. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Second down, 9 to go. Little toss. That's going to be to Alexander. He's trying to get outside, and it's not going to happen. He gets hit from behind. And it was a good play, but he was stretched a little bit too far. Kyan Morgan.
And we got a flag on the sideline. There was some extra stuff going on the sideline. It'll be interesting to see who they're going to call this on.
A little extracurricular.
Yeah, didn't look like anybody on the Whitehouse sideline was getting involved. Hopefully, they held their cool. The defense there for Mount Pleasant, they did a good job of keeping blockers occupied and stretching that ball out all the way to the sideline.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 8 in the defense. Somebody penalized 15 yards man to the line, first down Whitehouse.
And I'll tell you what, if yards are at a premium and it's difficult to get them, we'll take every 15-yard gift that the other team is willing to give. Whitehouse now outside past the 40-yard line where they started their first drive.
Well, now, and that's a positive mood. You got to take that momentum and start moving the ball. So it's going to be now first down and 10 from the 41-yard line. It's going to be handoff up the middle, and I believe that's Alexander on the carry. Another flag on the play, and I believe we have some talking, a little bit more extracurricular going on, Chris.
Yeah, and Whitehouse is out here in 2 tight end set. They've got both Willingham and Jackson Gary out there playing tight end, trying to get extra blockers. And there was a little something going on between one of the tight ends and the guy who was blocking. Let's see what we have.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
Goodness.
15 yards man to the line, automatic first down.
That's 30 yards in penalties now. I believe Whitehouse has picked up about 3 or 4 yards of offense, not much more than that, and Mount Pleasant has tacked on an extra 30 for them. That's wild.
So now first down.
And Whitehouse crosses midfield and is in Mount Pleasant Tiger territory for the first time.
Handoff up the middle. That's going to be,
It's Grimes.
yeah, number 22, John Grimes.
We enjoy watching John run the ball. Gritty, powerful. He's just going to run downhill, stick his head in there, try to pick up yards. Does a good job picking up about 6. First chance he has to carry the ball tonight. And we've speculated, Keith, you haven't been in the booth with us, but we've talked a bit about how when Whitehouse lines up to play offensively, they're not going to have the ability to be slow with their run game. They're going to have to move quickly. They're going to have to come downhill quickly
Right.
to pick up yards.
That's another handoff up the middle.
And they're blocking out there. They're fighting. They're blocking. They're trying to pick up yards. And you can see every time, by the time the whistle blows, almost every time all 11 players on the defense are within probably 5 to 10 yards of the ball.
And they're getting really close now. Third down and what? About 2
Third and about 2.
to go. They are.
That'll give you some options offensively, some different plays to call. Maybe some misdirection and try to slip a tight end out in the open. Get the ball to somebody who's got some space to run.
And that one got stalled up the middle.
Yeah, they opt to just line up and go straight ahead. And looks like they handed it to Pickens. That's the first time we've seen him take a handoff. Thought maybe the size advantage might be to their benefit, but
Yeah, it looks like they lost a yard on that play.
yeah, Mount Pleasant was ready for that. No trickeration, just straight ahead football, and that did not work out on that one.
Yeah, I was expecting something maybe on the outside to gain, maybe to stretch it out a little bit more to gain a little bit more yards.
And one of the things that you're giving up by having Holmes play the quarterback position here is you're giving up that tough running by the quarterback, where you can fake a handoff and then the quarterback can follow the running back like a lead blocker and maybe pick up a few tough yards.
Yeah, I think we have a timeout called by the Wildcats, so we're going to take a break as well. We'll be right back. You're watching NETSN from Wildcat Stadium. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. About ready to come out of the timeout. It'll be 4th down and about 3.
Thanks of those of you that have given us some constructive feedback that there's some issues being able to hear us audio-wise. We're working on that. Hopefully there's Zach, our miracle worker, will take care of us here like he usually does.
The miracle producer. Meanwhile, Holmes to the right-hand side kind of rolls out, tries to get away from a tackle, and really not able to do so. He kind of got spun around backwards and looking for an open man, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. Not really what he wanted to happen in that play. And so with a
yeah, that was a tough one. They had a couple guys running routes on that one, but they were well covered. In fact, I think both of them might have been double covered. And the little half roll there, hoping to open some things up, but the half roll into the boundary, meaning the shorter side of the field, not a lot of open space for them to operate. And Mount Pleasant defense was able to shut that down, unfortunately, for Whitehouse.
So 1st down and 10 now for the Tigers. That's going to be a toss over to Thompson. He's going to try to get on the outside, well covered by the Wildcats. Only a gain of around 2 on the play.
Pickens there, I think he'd like to have that one back. He put hands on him at 4 yards deep in the backfield, not able to grab hold of him and stop his movement.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 8. And I think they're just going to let the time run out for the first half. So your score as we close out the first quarter, not first half, this is the first quarter, is the Tigers 3, the Wildcats 0. We'll be right back. You're watching NETSN from Wildcat Stadium. Don't go anywhere. 20 seconds. Do what?
All right, we're working on the audio issues here. Sorry. I know you really, really want to hear us, and you're really upset that you can't hear us well, so we're working on it.
Yeah, really not sure what the malfunction is there, but we're going to get it, I promise. And that's
Mount Pleasant there trying a little misdirection run, getting the tight end the ball on the flat after changing directions. Pick up, looks like about 6 or 7 yards effective. Mount Pleasant appears to be pretty good at utilizing these tight ends, not just as blockers, but as weapons in the field, out in the flat, misdirection, change of direction plays.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Throw it into the middle. It is caught. Trying to see who that one is. That's going to be number 2. That's going to be Thompson again, Deuce Thompson.
And again, yeah, he's going to be their workhorse. He's going to be the guy that they're going to try to get the ball to down the field. He found a soft spot in the zone and was able to sit down there. Quarterback got him the ball. Good job by the quarterback throwing that. Whitehouse not in bad coverage.
Yeah.
If you're in a zone defense like that, you can't cover the whole field. There's going to be spots, and Mount Pleasant was able to successfully find the open spot with the receiver.
So now 1st down and 10. Cook to the left-hand side.
Looks like he was trying, like that was a designed run for the quarterback, drop back, and then tried to pick his hole coming forward. Up front, Whitehouse defensively was able to shut down the running lanes there and allow only 2 yards on the run.
So 2nd down now and 8 yards to go by the Tigers. And 10-14, the second quarter is kind of moving a little bit faster along than the first quarter was.
Yeah, when the ball doesn't hit the ground and nobody goes out of bounds, it tends to make it move pretty quickly.
Grant in motion, comes on back, gets the handoff, and comes to the right-hand side. Finds a hole, and the Wildcats converge quickly, but not before about an 8-yard gain by Grant.
It looks like Whitehouse tonight is being very responsive to shifts and motion and changes, strong side, weak side, and Mount Pleasant is finding a way to use that against them by running that motion one direction and then coming back the other way. Whitehouse having to think too much, and on defense, thinking too much is a problem because it slows you down.
3rd down and 2. Grant with the carry to the left-hand side. Gain of about 4, but enough for a first down. Brought down by number 28. That's Caden McGill.
And this game sometimes is literally just a game of inches. And there, Whitehouse had, I think, 2 or 3 players put a hand on the ball carrier, a couple of them behind the line of scrimmage, but he's able to just power right through the hand and pick up 4 or 5 yards and keep the sticks moving for another first down.
Carter Cook giving his team the play here. He's got Tony Grant to his right-hand side. Wildcats defense moving around trying to get it. There's the pass to the left-hand side. It's picked off. And it looks like the Wildcats are going to get it, a good interception. And that's number 5? No. Who is that, Chris? Number 4.
Is that 4? Carmelo Perkins?
Yep.
There we go.
I believe it is. Carmelo Perkins with the interception for the Wildcats. And good job on the turnover. The Wildcats will have it at the 24-yard line, 1st down and 10. And they're going to go the other way.
You know, I was fully expecting to see Laundry on the field because that wide receiver was on the ground.
Yeah.
And the Whitehouse defender was able to make the break on the ball. Apparently, it was incidental contact, or he just slipped and fell on his own.
I think the turf monster may have gotten him.
We've seen the turf monster rise up several times in the last 4 weeks.
That thing can get
several
you.
times.
So after the turnover, it's going to be 1st down and 10. And a fumble on the snap, and Holmes does a good job. He gets down, almost had to fight his own man for the ball. But he finally gets it, but a loss on the play. And he's kind of kicking himself for that.
That's one of those, like, you got to forget it. That play's over. You can't let it affect anything else moving forward.
Agreed.
And unfortunately, with Whitehouse, we've seen, several times over the last few weeks an inability to take positive momentum when they, unfortunately, few and far between from the defense like that, intercepting the ball. You got to move the ball down the field there.
Twins to the right. And Holmes with a good little pass on the screenplay. Just couldn't get out. And I believe that was Mosley on the reception.
Yeah, the offensive lineman released downfield to go block at the next level. And the defensive linemen continue to chase the quarterback. He dumps the ball right over their heads. Running back catches it, and ideally, you get the next group of people blocked, and they weren't able to do that successfully, give him a space to run. So brilliant play, executed well, but defensively, Mount Pleasant able to make the tackle.
So that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 12 for the Wildcats. So we probably going to see something in the air. And flag. A flag is in the air. Not something we wanted to see, but it's going to be a false start on the Wildcats, and then it's going to back them up.
False start on the offense. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap.
And that's another all 11 players, Chris.
Yeah, just, inexperience there, just trying to rush and get to the play quickly. You got to take a second, got to breathe, got to give your guys a chance to be fully set for a long second at least. Sometimes trying to rush the line and go quickly is going to backfire.
So Holmes back, throws to the outside. That's going to be caught by Diarra.
That's
and
very
it's a
decisive.
good catch.
Yes, it was. Very good catch.
And he was covered. And just to get up there, great vertical to make that catch.
Fitted in between a couple of receivers. Diarra went up, high-pointed the ball, and caught it. And you like to see that, nice and decisive.
And honestly, if you hadn't gotten that penalty, that would have been a first down play.
Again.
It just kills you, and it breaks your heart a little bit to see that happen. And the Wildcats making positive plays, but just that one negative just kills you every time. So here's the punt.
It's a good one.
And it's going to make a sideways bounce, go out of bounds at the 31-yard line, and that's where the Tigers are going to take it. So we got ourselves a little bit of a defensive battle going on. Okay. All right, we're going to take a short little break real quick. We'll be back to Wildcat Stadium for homecoming night. Just a second. And we are back. Change of possession here. First down from the 31-yard line. Tigers are going to take it. Cook is going to hand off to number 5, McCoo. McCoo's going to hit to the left-hand side. Bounces out to the sideline. He's down to the 40, 35, 30 is tackled from behind as he's chased down. I believe that was Timothy Ivers, the outside linebacker. But not after he gets a good gain and gets into deep Wildcat territory.
Mount Pleasant is finding brilliant ways to use these 3 very large tight ends. And that time he led the way, number 7 did, and was blocking 10, 15 yards downfield. And because of his size, was able to also, like a basketball player, screen out other defenders for Whitehouse. Whitehouse is going to have to figure out a way to deal with these tight ends.
Carter Cook, shotgun formation. He's flanked. And that's going to be given to number 5, McCoo again. And he is not going anywhere as the Wildcats just close up that hole or whatever was there.
Yeah, the good job defensively there. Apparently we're going to bring pressure through the B gaps and try to shut it down, force him backwards, and then have secondary support coming right behind it with the linebackers. And they were able to pick up a tackle for loss.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we want to see. This is the second time now that, the third time actually, that Mount Pleasant crosses the 50-yard line and the Whitehouse defense finds a way to push momentum the other direction.
Twins to the right, single receiver set to the left. Cook in the backfield. And a fumble on the snap. Cook just has to jump down on it.
There's some more of that backwards pressure, negative movement by Mount Pleasant. Great for Whitehouse. It's going to pick up a bunch of yards. Make it a 3rd and very, very long for Mount Pleasant here.
And that is a quote-unquote bounce in good favor for the Wildcats. And they need to take advantage of that right now on defensive side.
Sometimes people say, unlucky for Mount Pleasant. But the play before, everything just got blown up. So what's in the quarterback and the center's mind is not wanting to see that happen again. That's going to contribute.
And Cook was getting pressure on that from the backhand side. I believe, I'm trying to see what number that is, number 20 maybe.
He threw one way down the sideline.
Yeah,
the official on the sideline had thrown his hat, if you might have seen that in the broadcast. That means that the offensive receiver went out of bounds on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the case, he cannot be the first person to touch the ball after coming back inbounds.
And Cook threw it out of bounds anyway.
Yeah,
it was uncatchable.
It was what we would call uncatchable,
but
10
I was going to
yards
tell you,
or so.
number 26, Marcus Franklin, was putting pressure on the backside, and I think Marcus felt it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think
he affected the
Cook
pass.
felt it.
Yep.
And so it affected it. Here's the punt, and that's going to go to the sidelines, and I believe they're going to mark it probably out of bounds at the 19 or 20.
Goes out of bounds.
Yep,
Yeah.
20-yard line.
So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're watching NETSN.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
We're back, first down and 10 for the Wildcats in the 20-yard line. Holmes fakes the handoff, rolls to the left-hand side, has a receiver wide open in the flat. He's hit out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. That's going to be to Jackson Gary.
And see, this is just inexperience on Holmes's part there. Started that play well with the reverse out and the little rollout. Had Gary open right from the beginning. Took about 6 or 7 more steps before throwing it. And what that did was it shortened the field on Gary after the catch. He didn't have as much space to work with. So I think opportunities to learn here and grow as this game progresses for both Holmes and the offense for Whitehouse. Unfortunately, another flag here before the play even starts.
Yeah, they poor John Grimes.
That's third time now.
That's third time.
Got to grab that quarterback and give him a big hug on the sideline and tell him to slow down.
Do something.
Yeah. His heart's probably beating pretty darn fast.
Well,
you know?
and yeah.
This is his first start this year. There's
and
a
it's
lot
the first
going on
district
out
game,
there.
So I'm sure that's thrown in there as well.
Yep.
You got to make sure that
they're wanting to push.
Breathe.
Whitehouse coaches are wanting to push the tempo, which is great, but
Right.
not when it hurts you.
Holmes, the right-hand side, trying to find a receiver, has one open. It's caught, and they're going to mark it just shy of the line to gain.
It's Gardner, number 7. Beautiful catch. Unfortunately, he slipped, went down. But, hey, 3rd and 1's a lot better than 3rd and 12.
And that was actually Holmes did a beautiful job. He put
did.
it right where he had to do it because Gardner had a guy right on him.
Yep.
So great job, great poise by Holmes to get out there on that little bootleg pass and put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, his heart's beaten, but he's working hard. His gutsy, good throws on the money.
So
the coaches like what they see.
3rd down and 1. It's going to be handoff. That's going to be Grimes. Up the middle, it's going to be all on the ground, but they're going to call him down by contact. Loss on the play.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant said, we're not going to allow you to run the ball up the middle and gain this yard. And in fact, they blew it up for a 3-yard loss in the backfield.
And that's the 3rd time they've tried to do that on a 2nd or 3rd or 4th and short that I've seen where they've tried to go up the middle and it just hasn't worked out for them in this ball game.
That's where you'd like to see some sort of misdirection, fake handoff, get a tight end out in the flat, something like that. Find some space.
3:55 left in the first half. Holmes is going to come out and punt the ball for the Wildcats. And we're going to have another wait. I thought I heard the whistle blow.
Whistle. Yep, the official
I did.
back
I was going to say, I thought I heard a whistle blow.
The official in the back is calling delay of game.
And that'll just back him up even more.
So sometimes when you switch the person who's running your offense, going from JoJo to Holmes here today to Austin Holmes, and again, this is a punt, so it's a little bit different. But sometimes when you make changes, the rhythm and the cadence of the game kind of changes a bit, and that's, I think, why we're seeing a lot of pre-snap penalties on offense for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, something to clean up at halftime.
We can understand that with the rhythm and the cadence and the things that are going on.
For sure.
Fair catch was called.
Now, that looks like one of those situations where you hit the ball really nicely in softball or baseball, and you hit it right to the outfielder.
Right. It just goes
he didn't
straight.
have to move.
No, the only thing he had to do was squat.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a short break real quick. We'll be right back. You're watching NETSN. And we had to come back fast. They got on the field faster than we wanted to. First down and 10 from Wildcat territory at the 49. That's going to be a handoff. That's going to be to Grant. Grant gets hit from behind the line of scrimmage. Doesn't go down, but he does go backwards. And it's going to be a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, it looks like Whitehouse has figured out the way they want to attack this inside run. And if they can keep this up, it looks like they're bringing pressure from the backside and allowing the backside defender to be able to make the play on the outside run. And that way the blocking tight ends are not a problem all the way across the board.
Cook in the backfield.
Oh, late shift.
Ooh, late shift, but
Don't love
see
that.
what they do. Cook's going to keep the ball. He's going to tuck it and run. He's got a little bit of green, and he gets hit. Kind of dragged down. A great job by number 17. I believe that was 17. Yeah, Chris Stearns.
Yeah, the Whitehouse linebackers do a pretty good job of making sure the ball carrier goes to the ground. Unfortunately, it was 15, 16 yards downfield.
Yeah, everybody was out and about on that, and Cook had way too much grass and ground to be able to cover there.
It was good blocking on the offensive line that last play. Allowed him.
Yeah, first down and 10 from the 39. And Cook back, trying to find an open receiver. Has all day, finds one down the middle, and that was Emmanuel Harris, one of the tight ends.
Yeah, again, that's 2 plays in a row that the offensive line has done a good job. Each one of them blocking their defensive counterpart, giving space and the ability for the quarterback to read the field and find one of his big tight ends running down the field open in the middle.
Yeah, and he got a little bit of a talking to by the referee on that one, by the way. He did something to one of the Wildcat players and wasn't very liked by the referee. It's going to be first down and 10. Man in motion. That was Cheatham. Handoff. And that's Grant. Breaks a tackle. Flag is on the play. And he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
I think they got a face mask on that penalty.
I believe so, too. I think that was the one that he broke, that Grant broke. And I thought he reached out to get that touchdown. I thought the referee was going to make the call, but he put him right at the 1-yard line. Good job to save the touchdown.
So earlier we commended Whitehouse. They brought pressure behind the run. They did that again this time, but Mount Pleasant had it schemed up to be able to. This is a chess match out here tonight.
On the defense, it'll be half the distance from the goal. First down.
He gets a half-yard penalty on the face mask.
Yeah, maybe an inch, because really it's right where he was. They're marking the ball right where he was.
Oh.
So they're going to 2-minute timeout. We're going to commercial. We'll be back.
Today's real estate market is loud. Rates are up, homes sit longer, and your cousin's advice is straight from TikTok. You don't need someone to sell you something. You need someone to walk you through it.
I'm Jamie Whitley, your local expert in the calm in your real estate storm. If life's telling you it's time to make a move, I'll help you do it without making you lose your mind or your money. Let's find your next move together.
And we're back to Wildcat Stadium, the 2-minute timeout. I'm going to tell you, Chris, what I've said all year long about the 2-minute timeout. If they're going to have a 2-minute timeout in high school football, they need a shot clock in high school basketball. Just saying.
For you, that's the.
I'm just saying. If they're going to bring it, that's what they have to have.
That's the hill you're going to plant the flag on?
That's what I'm going to die on that one. First down and goal from the inch line. And they're set it up in kind of a big, nasty, and a good stop, but he's pushed into the end zone by his own man. Nehemiah Savage did a savage move and pushed his man right in there.
Yeah, that was interesting. It looked like how the Eagles line up for the tush-push formation.
Yeah.
And instead of just going straight forward, they actually did a quarterback turned around and handed the ball off to somebody going around the outside who was stopped initially.
Yeah.
But then he got pushed, and that was that.
And it was very well defended. Here's the point after attempt.
That's gonna be a
And that's
penalty.
going to be a penalty. I don't know who's going to be on because
It's going to be Whitehouse
I
coming
believe
across
it's going to
and
be
making
Whitehouse coming.
contact.
Yeah, I believe you're right. While they're discussing it, let's see.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense, number 50, with contact. Half the distance. Retry.
And it looks like
the-
Mount Pleasant might go for 2 here with the.
Yeah, they're bringing out the big nasties again.
Yeah, they only need to get 1.5 yards because of the penalty. They're going to try to drop a play where one or more of those big tight ends can push a running back into the end zone again.
Hey, don't forget, we got 1:50 left in the half. Don't forget to stick around for the Whitley halftime show.
That's right.
That'll be coming up shortly. So they are going to go after it. Man in motion. Cook is going to hand it off to, I believe that was number 5, McCoo, and he's going to get in barely, but he kept his knees driving, so the 2-point conversion is good. And so we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium homecoming night here in Whitehouse. It's good to be back home. It was weird actually driving through town. I hadn't been back here in a long time. It's just kind of weird driving back through town a little bit. I live in Tyler. I haven't driven through here in a while, so
Yeah, if
it's
you're
kind
not-
of nostalgic
If
moment.
you don't have a reason to be down here.
Yeah. But
Some changes,
Brought back-
significant
yeah.
changes.
brought back some memories.
Yep.
It's kind of nice.
Oh, here comes that offset formation with 0 and 5. They're linebackers. Might try that short high kick to this side.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot. Avila with the kick. And that's going to be caught. JoJo Adams is going to take it, try to find a hole. He finds one, but he's hit from behind. And that was actually a saver by number 45, Jaden Finley.
Yeah, we're used to calling JoJo's name a bunch every night.
Right, and you were
that's
talking about
weird.
that before the game.
That's really weird for that to be the first time that
Right.
we mention his name on a kickoff return.
Yeah, you were telling me about that before the game, and I haven't really said it much. So, yeah, that's an interesting development. So it'll be first down and 10 from the 35-yard line, minute 44. A lot of time left for the Wildcats to make a run for it, get into the end zone before half.
Yeah, you'd like to see no penalties here and some positive momentum on first down.
Wildcats have 2 timeouts left. There's a pass to the outside. Good catch by JoJo Adams. Set it again.
There we go.
And it's going to be a first down. We're going to have a no-huddle offense. They're going to do a 2-minute offense.
You need to take a breath, though, and make sure
Yeah.
everybody's set. It's a great catch by JoJo there. 3 defenders needed to take him down after the catch. It's very typical of what we see when he was running the ball from the quarterback position.
And Holmes to the right-hand side throws and picked off. That's going to be McCoo with the pickoff. He's going to carry it across to the Wildcats side to about the 38-yard line. And Holmes just did not get enough height on that.
Well, I was watching him drop, and he was dropping at an angle to the sideline and literally just put himself into the passing window faster than Austin was able to see and react to. And when he went to throw that ball, there's a defender I wasn't counting on being in a position where I didn't see him.
And I think that JoJo Adams was the intended receiver on that as well.
It looked like we had JoJo deep and another guy that was more shallow. It looked like he was throwing to the shallow receiver, which is why that linebacker was able to get his hand on the ball. That should be, there we go.
That's going to be a penalty
There's
on the Tigers.
Yeah, there's a not set penalty on Mount Pleasant.
Wow. The fourth total, the first on the Tigers.
Full start. Number 15 of the offense. 5-yard
It's going to be on Terrence Beard.
Yeah, they're blaming
wide
it on
receiver.
15, but he wasn't the only one that wasn't said.
So that's a plus, I guess, for the Wildcats. In Wildcats' favor, it'll be first down and 15 from the 45-yard line of Whitehouse. First down and 15. Cook in the backfield. Kind of strolls out to the... Oh, he drops the ball on the left-hand side and knocks it out of bounds.
That was pretty smart there.
That was extremely smart because he had a Caleb Toombs. Is that 55? Is that Toombs or is that 56?
I'm not sure, but he was
I can't tell. He was
down.
barreling down.
He saw that ball on the ground and found a new gear.
Sure did.
The big fellas sometimes need some enticement, and he found it. And we got a timeout.
Yeah,
here.
we're going to take a timeout. We're going to take a short break as well. We'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
And we are back. It'll be second down and Tyler to go for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's going to be about 25.
We had
maybe
the penalty
26.
and then the fumble and push the ball out of bounds.
So let's see what they do. Cook in the shotgun formation. He's going to hand it off to Grant, and Grant tries to get to the outside, but he's chased down by Pickens. And he does make a good gain there, but when you're 26 yards away.
Whitehouse was, again, a step away from another negative yardage play there. 55, again, was threatening the ball carrier, doing a heck of a job out there on defense. I know that we've seen him on defense very much this year so far. But Caleb Toombs is making a name for himself out there on defense tonight, especially on this drive. 2 big plays factoring in there and just one hand grip away from back-to-back negative yardage plays for Mount Pleasant.
And Whitehouse has done a good job of tightening up their defense a little bit.
Yeah, they have. Of course, it's easy to do that when they're that far behind the sticks. But we talked at the beginning, and you noted, Keith, that with Whitehouse starting on offense and then not scoring on that first possession, the advantage shifts over to Mount Pleasant, having the opportunity to score first and then also being the team to get the kickoff in the second half.
Right.
So Whitehouse here really needs to tighten up on defense, not allow free yards on this third down to take the ball out of their hands and prevent them from scoring here before the end of the half. Because you don't want to score and then start with the ball in the second half. You don't want them to be in that position.
Well, and you have a third down here. You just did your last timeout, so there's no more timeouts either. So you might not get the ball back here. And it's a throw underneath. Wow, that was quick. And Tony Grant caught the ball and had to go down, but Cook was almost hit by Kadavian Pickens.
Yeah, he kind of had to duck to the side.
Yeah, that was a sidearm. Did a little Dennis Eckersley type pitch, throw underneath, sidearm.
And Tony Grant did a good job catching that ball and then went to the ground immediately.
And I don't know, did they're just going to let the clock run out?
Yeah,
well,
they're going to take a delay of game penalty.
Yeah.
And
that's what it looks like to me as well.
Whitehouse is going to be content to let them take the delay of game penalty. Now, if you're Whitehouse here, you might think about going after this punt. We talked at the beginning about Mount Pleasant having some issues with special teams, not so special for them this year. If they saw something in the tape in preparation for this game this week that they can exploit by bringing pressure in a certain way, some sort of mismatch, this would be the time to break that out, because worst possible thing, they don't block the punt, but they hit the punter.
Right.
15-yard penalty, and Mount Pleasant keeps the ball, well, they'll have basically no time on the clock to be able to do anything.
Right.
Except maybe throw a Hail Mary. Not the best. But
Well-
this is an opportunity to be aggressive and to go after this ball. Try to make a play, force
Right.
something.
Well, we have a punt situation, so probably not the last play, maybe, but at least 2 more plays, and then we have you need to stick around because we have the Whitley halftime show coming up here at Wildcat Stadium, the homecoming halftime, and almost blocked, and you were right, they came guns a-blazing, and that's going to be a bounce to end the ball game, or in the halftime, excuse me. So we're going to go to the Whitley halftime show. Your score, however, is the Tigers 11, Wildcats 0. And we'll be back after halftime. Enjoy the show.
Hold on.
Hey Whitehouse, it's halftime. In my family, that's always meant tradition, pride, doing your best, and then making it better. That's Whitehouse, and that's how I sell real estate.
Whitehouse ISD has been creating opportunities that empower students to achieve their fullest potential for almost 125 years. Our community is built on strong values, exceptional education, and endless possibilities for academic growth. We are more than a school district. We are a family. And together, we are building a future we can all be proud of. Our students and teachers are excelling in the classrooms, with high graduation rates and exceptional academic standards. We're preparing our kids for adulthood with real-world skills and career certifications that lead to high-paying jobs. Our fine arts programs are receiving standing ovations and winning awards for excellence. We cheer on our student athletes as they advance deep into the playoffs in multiple sports and continue the traditions set by incredible student athletes of the past. Our administrators are also doing their part, earning the highest state ranking possible for financial accountability while keeping our property tax rate one of the lowest in Smith County. Our commitment to the success of our Whitehouse community is why our Board of Trustees unanimously voted to place a voter approval tax rate election, also known as a school funding election, on the November ballot. Our trustees made this decision after conversations with dozens of stakeholders. They also factored in the rising costs of goods and inflation to ensure the tax dollars are used as effectively as possible, while maintaining our high-quality academic, fine arts, athletic, and career and technical education programs. Their goal was to find ways to better fund our classrooms without losing local tax dollars to the state, which too often happens in other districts due to Texas's complex and multi-layered school finance system, and to ensure we educate our 4,875 students according to the special values of our community. If voters approve the school funding election, it will provide us an estimated $2.5 million a year to maintain our schools. The additional funds would allow us to provide the salaries needed to keep and attract the most experienced staff, maintain small class sizes that allow for more personal one-on-one attention between students and teachers, expand in-demand academic, job training, career certifications, and fine arts offerings, maintain current safety programs, and provide for additional security measures, and grow college preparation programs, including our partnerships with Texas A&M Commerce, Tyler Junior College, and UT Tyler. If the school funding election were to pass, our tax rate will remain 45 cents lower than 8 years ago. This will keep our tax rate among the lowest in the region. In fact, the average homeowner in Whitehouse ISD would see a $246.81 decrease in their property tax bill when compared to last year. As always, senior residents who have filed their senior citizen homestead exemption will see no increase in their tax rates now or in the future. It's important to note that many school districts in Texas have already passed a school funding election. Early voting is Monday, October 20th through Friday, October 31st. Election Day is Tuesday, November 4th. Whitehouse ISD is committed to transparency. Please contact us at 903-839-5500 if you have questions. Visit wisdschoolfunding.com to learn the facts so you may make an informed decision at the polls. The Whitehouse ISD School Funding Election, a community-driven plan that will impact every student on every campus while keeping our property tax rate 45 cents lower than 8 years ago.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority. With mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Today's real estate market is loud. Rates are up, homes sit longer, and your cousin's advice is straight from TikTok. You don't need someone to sell you something. You need someone to walk you through it.
I'm Jamie Whitley, your local expert in the calm in your real estate storm. If life's telling you it's time to make a move, I'll help you do it without making you lose your mind or your money. Let's find your next move together.
We're going to cut in and watch a little bit of the Mount Pleasant band that's got a pretty colorful display here. We will bring you the full halftime show of the Whitehouse band, so don't worry about that. But for now, here's a little sneak peek with some of the color and pageantry craziness of the Mount Pleasant band, and yeah, enjoy.
Hey Whitehouse, it's halftime. In my family, that's always meant tradition, pride, doing your best, and then making it better. That's Whitehouse, and that's how I sell real estate.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the owner of a Nissan Sentra, license plate VF2 3559, please move your car immediately. Again, with the owner of a Nissan Sentra, license plate VF2 3559, please move your car immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, for your continued halftime entertainment, Whitehouse High School proudly presents the Sweethearts of Whitehouse, the national champion First Ladies Drill Team. Leading the First Ladies onto the field, the officers from left to right, Officer Addison Burkhart, Officer Libby Nealon, Captain Lindy Weatherford, First Lieutenant Quincy Smith, and Officer Sophie Perry. Our sponsors this week are Gabriel Jordan Chevrolet, Hall Buick GMC, Burns Commercial Properties, Steadfast Plumbing, Patio Donuts, Donut Palace Troop, Total Care Custom Mobility, Bandman Incorporated, the Salon Professional Academy, Holly Patterson Photography, and Jamie Whitley with Schilling Real Estate. Our First Ladies of the Week are Missy Eldridge and Addison Dickerson. Tonight, the First Ladies will perform an exciting production routine, Too Confident. First ladies are under the direction of Nikki Whitley and assisted by Polly Chenault. Introducing now the Whitehouse High School Majorettes. Tonight, the Majorettes will perform a dance twirl routine to Runaway Baby. Let's hear it for your Majorettes. And now, under the field direction of drum majors Taylor McGee and Addison Bernardino, ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning Whitehouse High School Wildcat Band and feature twirler Avery McGraw in a performance of pride. Tonight's performance includes music from Incandescent Sky by Robert Sheldon and Robinson's Grand Entry by Carl Key. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this time, please direct your attention to the center of the track as we meet the young ladies that keep our spirits high and our energy soaring during football season and beyond. Your Spirit of Whitehouse varsity cheer team. Our 2025-26 Whitehouse High School varsity cheerleaders are Senior Captain Bella Rios, Senior Co-Captain Amelia Ginn, Senior Addison Beal, Senior Caitlin Bennett, Senior Ashia Mobley, Senior Julia Haggard, Senior Emily Taylor, Senior Caroline Weissman, Junior Head Ambassador Macy Mellenbacher, Junior Spirit Ambassador Adelie Harris, Junior Spirit Ambassador Kylie Perkins, Junior Spirit Ambassador Brooke Stapleton, Junior Allie Tyre, Junior Aubrey Langston, Junior Presley Ross, Junior Blair Glasscock, Junior Keely Foster, Junior Harley Boone, Junior Casey Kane, Junior Avery Brooks, and everyone knows Willie the Wildcat. Let's hear it for Willie. The freshman, JV, and
Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium for the second half of football.
Momentarily.
Momentarily here in a little bit. And it's going to be Tiger ball as they defer to the second half. So they'll be having possession here coming up shortly. And go ahead, Chris, tell us what are you expecting? What are you looking at? What do you think that the Wildcats kind of went over in that locker room during halftime?
Well, I think they probably talked about missed opportunities. You know, there was several times, both defensively and offensively, where it was like, oh, just one little thing wrong. Offensively, hopefully they talked a bit about making sure, let's take an extra breath out there. No need to pick up those everybody not set penalty. Yeah. And hopefully, you know, Austin Holmes, he finished his first half as a starter. Hopefully he was able to, you know, take a break, get a rest, get his heart rate down a little bit, and be able to talk to his coaches a little bit. What did you see out there? What are you comfortable with?
Right.
And perhaps find a way to manipulate and manufacture some momentum on third and short. That seems to be a thing that's caught them up, not just tonight, but several times this year. And defensively, what we'd love to see them here with the kickoff upcoming is to be able to get a stop quickly.
Yeah, and as Ashton Park gets ready to kick off, I'm sure that that a lot of that was talked about, you know, holding your water, keeping your patience, not, you know, doing things wrong to move yourself backwards, always moving forward.
And in the conversation that we had with the broadcast team from Mount Pleasant, they said that's one of the things that has come back to haunt them letting the ball drop and hit the ground on kickoffs like that. And hopefully Whitehouse saw that in the tape in preparation and maybe an opportunity there.
May make some moves on that. We're going to look at some scores from around the East Texas area.
Kicking team, Mount Pleasant has elected to keep the ball +5 from where it went out of bounds. First down.
Looks like everybody's getting in on the offsides on the kickoff.
Yeah, something like that. So we got a halftime score as Tyler Legacy is losing right now to Rockwall Heath 38-7. Tyler High, this is a good one. Halftime, Tyler High trailing, Highland Park 49-42 at a halftime score. That's a pretty close score.
Wow.
There at Tyler High. So we'll keep some eye. We got a lot of other scores around the area as district has started almost all around the East Texas area for Friday night football, and we'll give you some more scores as the half continues. But back down to the field, Cook in the backfield, and it's Cheatham in motion. Here we go. Shotgun formation. It's going to be handed off to Grant. Grant around the right-hand side, just out of the reach. We had a flag on the play, but just out of the reach of number 17, Chris Stearns. And he gains about 4 on the play, but we're going to go back and see. Holding territory is where that is, but it looks like it may be on the Wildcats as it is behind the run. And I thought he was going to, he reached for his mic. That's why I stopped.
That's why we stopped.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Number 77 of the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Xavier Dudley getting called for a personal foul, hands to the face. And so the 5-yard run turns into a 15-yard penalty. And
yeah, you saw Stearns there setting the outside edge, but one of those huge tight ends in front of him, he literally couldn't even see the ball carrier attacking his outside shoulder, and was a step behind on making that tackle. And again, this late shifting by Whitehouse not
working. A very fake handoff and throw to the outside. That's going to be caught by Lowen. Jaden Lowen. He's going to gain right at the line to gain. Let's see what they're going to mark it. I think it's going to be just a yard shy.
I don't know what Whitehouse, the defense, is responding to with that late shift, but on that last run, Mount Pleasant could have run the ball off tackle to the left and still been running with the mismatch that existed there with 2 blockers and only 1 defender. And same thing, we're looking at it again here.
Cheatham on motion. Handoff up the middle. That's going to be Grant. And he gains enough for a first down, 2-yard gain.
Well played defensively by Whitehouse.
And it looks like we're going to have a referee come and have a conversation with the coach. Not really sure what's going on. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of conversation, a lot of extracurricular, not in pushing and shoving, but a little language down there, and we're not sure what's going on.
Oh, we're getting the athletic director involved.
And that's usually when there's some fan interference going on. So not really sure what's happening. But as far as what's on the field, and that's what we're going to talk about.
That's what we'll go with. First and 10.
Yeah, it's 1st and 10. And the Wildcats really are going to have to tighten up. I know it's right after half, and I know they've been kind of sitting down, but they've got to get back into the rhythm of the game. And at the end of the first half, their defense was actually doing fairly well. They were making the stops where they needed to make the stops, and they really are needing to get back into that rhythm.
Yeah, it felt like they turned a corner a little bit and found a way to push momentum back.
On the field is due to clock issues.
All right, clock issues.
Okay, so we had...
And play clock will start on my signal.
All right. So we're getting things going here. Play clock is now running, and the game clock is now running.
There we go.
Pardon me. 11:20 in the third quarter. First down and 10 from the 40-yard line in Whitehouse territory. Cook in the backfield. The 3 tight ends now. We hadn't seen this since the first quarter. And it's going to be a handoff to Grant to the left-hand side, and the Wildcats were waiting on that. And I believe a couple of helmets flying.
Caleb Toombs out there picking up where he left off. Just grabbing the ball carrier and saying, nope, that's it.
But a great job of the Wildcats to really stop that. They really didn't take that 3 tight end stack on that left-hand side. And it didn't didn't make a maneuver, didn't make them change.
It didn't factor into.
No, it didn't cause a problem. They did a good job of reading that and causing an issue there. No gain, second down.
That's a lot of defenders on the line.
And a good handoff of Grant again, and a great penetration by the front line of the Wildcats. 1 yard gain for Grant. So the defense, like we just talked about, they're starting to stiffen up again. They're starting to do what they need to do. And maybe the coaches up here in the box and maybe on the field are seeing some things and telling their defensive line and their defensive players, hey, key on this, key on this.
And it looked like on that tackle, I saw number 8 wrapping up the ball carrier, and lo and behold, it is Zamaje Mosley playing some defense out there.
And a fumble snap is a little high, but he gets it and throws it out to the outside, and that's going to go to Lowen. Lowen's going to gain maybe 3 yards, and I believe we're going to get a penalty flag coming in late. Not really knowing why. Zamaje Mosley was in on the stop.
And he's indicating face mask. He did have hands up high trying to grab.
But was he trying to,
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well.
We're the ones giving gifts now.
Yeah.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 8 of the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So instead of being a third down and, 7, it's going to be a first down and 10.
And they called that on 8. That's Zamaje, who's obviously a main cog of what happens on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily get a lot of snaps on defense. So reaching to grab and unfortunately gets a hold of the face mask.
Tigers starting quickly. Throw to the outside again. And quickly, once again, a quick catch by Lowen. Lowen, a big target for Cook in this quarter.
I think there's a little strategy here in that Mount Pleasant was not able to find running room in the middle, and so now they're forcing Whitehouse to literally have to defend the entire width of the field, going far outside to the right, far outside to the left, and I imagine they're going to try to punch the ball up the middle again here after making them think about having to defend the entire length side to side.
Cooks, high snap, handoff to Grant. Grant bounces out to the left-hand side, is grabbed a hold of by Xavier Dudley, gains enough for a first down, which was only about a yard that they needed. So now it's first down and 10.
Yeah, good play there by the defense. Needed 1 yard, got 1 yard. Unfortunate that it's a first down, but actually a good play by Whitehouse defensively.
So the ball is going to be spotted about the 13-yard line, first and 10 for the Tigers, and they are marching down the field. And, of course, 30 of those yards were given to them by the Wildcats, unfortunately.
Yeah, can't do that.
So man in motion, that's going to be Harris. Hand off to number 5, McCoo. McCoo to the outside side.
A lot of blockers, a lot of defenders, a lot of fighting there for the edge. Ball carrier's able to turn the corner a little bit, pick up a few yards. Saw a helmet come flying out of the pile there.
Yeah, I was trying to see who that was.
It was a Mount Pleasant helmet, and there's not a penalty, so whoever that was is going to be off the field for a play.
That's a 4-yard gain for McCoo. It'll be second down. And they've got a lot of big players out there right now. As Cook's in the backfield. Over his head is the snap. He gets it, and he's going to get hit. Breaking one tackle. Does not break the other two that come after him. And Kadavian Pickens was on the force there to take him down. But there were about 3 more Wildcats behind him. And a big defensive play as they get down on him after the fumble on the snap.
Yeah, that's exactly what Whitehouse needed, some momentum to push Mount Pleasant backwards. And that's about worst-case scenario, a ball snapped over the head that high especially, and but literally the most fortunate bounce right back into his stomach. Easy to recover for Mount Pleasant. No chance Whitehouse to make a play on that ball that was on the ground.
Cook gets the snap. 2-step drop, throws to the out-hand side, and he has an open receiver in the end zone. An incomplete pass. Trying to see who the receiver was. I can't see who it is. He's still on the ground.
That was
and hopefully he's okay. I think we're going to have an injury timeout here.
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
So we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
So on that third down pass there, very decisive and well-thrown ball by Cook. Whitehouse, 2 defenders in the area, 1 contesting the throw and 1 making the hit at the same time that the ball arrived. That's how you draw it up. That's how you draw it up, and forcing a long field goal here, 42 yards.
And I believe it's a different. Oh, yeah, that's Avila with the kick. It's up, and I believe it's going to be good. That was a good little line drive of a kick. So after that, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
And we are back. And it looks like the Tigers are going to come out and kick it after that field goal. It's 14-0 here at Wildcat Stadium. Wildcats are going to get the ball and try to get into that end zone for the first time of the game. And really, the score doesn't show you. The Wildcats have done offensively fairly well this game. It's just the penalties have just pushed them back, and they just haven't been able to battle back from those mistakes.
Yeah, it's hard enough to overcome the 11 guys on the other side of the field, but when you're hurting yourself, that's problematic. And, that's interesting.
A little squib type kick in the middle. That's going to be picked up around the 20-yard line. And I believe that's Mosley on the return. He tried to make some moves and does gain pretty good yardage up to about the 30-yard line. That's where the Wildcats will take it. But you were talking about something. I apologize.
No, that's fine. That's fine. The offense here, what we'd like to see, again, no pre-snap penalties, no penalties that take their momentum and start throwing it backwards, and just wise plays. We saw that the beautiful drop by the linebacker to get in the window right before halftime and pick off that ball that Holmes threw. It was a nice ball. It was a nice concept with a couple of receiver options. Just want to clean that sort of thing up here. I want to see some clean football on offense with momentum going forward.
All right. First down and 10. It's going to be handoff up the middle. He's hit in the backfield. And, wow, I believe that was, Mosley on the carry. And they quickly got into the backfield of the Wildcats, and they're going to say it's a fumble.
I am not going to argue with the guys in stripes, but there was a lot of momentum stopped before that ball came out. A lot of forward progress stopped before that ball came out. Still, you've got to protect that ball regardless of whether or not you think you're down or your momentum's been turned back. That's a tough break for Whitehouse right there.
So the Tigers with the turnover and the fumble recovery, and it's going to be a first down.
Going to have to rely on the defense to stand up here and make some plays, see if they can claw back some momentum.
Yeah, that's a big. You said exactly what I was about to say. Is they're going to have to do something big here to get a momentum shift back into their favor. First down and 10 from the 27-yard line, deep in Whitehouse territory. Cook back, throws, and it's picked off. And this is what we were talking about. It's picked off and brought up to the 35-yard line. He steps out of bounds. That's going to be number 18, Malachi Allen.
Beautifully played by the safety.
Wow.
Beautifully played by the safety. Who's back there reading the quarterback, watching the throw all along, put himself in the lane to be able to make that clean interception, get a nice return on it too. Seemed like he went out of bounds and then got hit a couple times, but no flag down there. So apparently it was close to the edge, but not fully out of bounds yet.
Yeah, and that was just great. I'm just gonna.
That was beautiful.
Mirror you. That was
beautiful.
Just beautiful.
Yep.
He broke exactly how he needed to break on that play, and Allen just did a fantastic job to give back the ball to the Wildcats. Now, offensively, Holmes and the Wildcats need to do what they need to do to get in that end zone, and that's not a way to start, but it was miscommunication, looked like.
Yeah, JoJo.
Yeah.
JoJo out there at wide receiver for the first time, and a little miscommunication with his quarterback. Running a route and throwing a different route.
Yeah, he excuse me. I think it was supposed to be a go route, and JoJo ran a little curl and didn't really work in their favor. Luckily, no defenders were around to intercept that ball, but it'll be a 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats. Holmes in the backfield. Takes the snap. Looks to the right-hand side. Has a receiver. That's going to be Alexander, I believe. He's going to head to the outside, gets the 1st down, and a little bit more into Tiger territory. They're going to mark him at the 46.
And that's exactly what we're talking about right there, trying to find a way to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers with some space. It was a heck of a job by Zion catching that ball, pivoting outward, and being able to gain yards, just find grass and get upfield. It's a great play, Great job picking up yards after the catch right there.
And now if you're Holmes and the Wildcats, you keep that positive momentum going and get back up to the ball. 1st down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Holmes hands off to number 22, John Grimes. Gain of about 2 on the play. Good stop by the defense.
There's tough yards there.
Couldn't find a hole.
And that's fine, right? I mean, if 2 yards is all that's available, let's get those 2 yards and let's come back to the next play and see if we can pick up more. What we don't want to do is we don't want to hand yards to the defense by picking up a penalty, doing something dumb, trying to bounce it outside and taking a loss on the play. So good run.
It's another fake handoff. Holmes is going to roll to the left-hand side. Has a receiver, and that's JoJo, and in and out of his hands. Unfortunately, he was there, but just led a bit too far for JoJo Adams to catch that ball. Good job by Holmes to get away. He had pressure right there.
Yeah, Austin Holmes in the backfield there. He pulled that ball. His running back kind of stopped, thinking he was supposed to get it, and pivoted reverse out and gave himself an option to throw. It was a nice RPO concept there. Are you going to run the ball or are you going to pass, run-pass option? And he chose the pass, and he had his receiver just it's like the story of the season so far, just outside of his grasp.
So on a 3rd and 8, they go up the middle with Grimes and lose a yard.
They might have been thinking this is 2-down territory. Let's pick up 3 or 4 right here. And unfortunately, they do not pick up any. That does not fool the defense. They are ready.
And it looks like you are correct. It looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down and 9.
I think I'd favor punting the ball here the way your defense is playing at this point. And Holmes there as the quarterback, you could line up in the shotgun, take a step or 2 back, take the shotgun snap, and just punt the ball. That is one of the advantages of having your quarterback as the punter.
And he's going to take about a 2-step drop, and that's going to be a penalty because he got shoved. JoJo Adams was there, and you can't shove. Jaden Lowen tries to run through JoJo Adams, and I'm going to say this, and you've been a coach before, but there's a difference in playing the ball and going through the receiver to get the ball.
Yeah, that one was as obvious as anybody could see.
You can't
and it was completely unnecessary, too, because he had good position and could have.
Pass interference on the defense, number 8. It'll be a spot foul. 1st down.
There you go. Yeah, he easily defensively could have come up and made a play on the ball, made it difficult to catch. He did not need to shove him like that.
Right. And, I mean, I understand his frustration as a defender, but he's going to argue that, he was making a play on the ball. Yes, you can, as a defender, make a play on the ball, but you can't go through a receiver to make a play on the ball. Not through the
receiver like that.
1st down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 33-yard line, and this is not what you want. You're going to go backwards.
Yeah, there's the dreaded false start, taking the momentum backwards. And Austin Holmes as quarterback there telling the team to calm down. That's good. A little leadership there, encouraging them to take a break. Hey, take a breath, calm down. It's good. We'll do it. We'll take care of business here.
And that was on your tight end, number 16, Jackson Gary, who probably just got a little excited.
Well, he was stepping back to go in motion at the same time that an offensive lineman moves. So I think,
Perception there. It's going to be first down, 15. Little step drop back, and it's tipped at the line by number 5, Brandon McCoo, look like.
Yeah, they're on to something there with how to contest those throws at the line of scrimmage by getting hands up. The last time when we saw that throw out to Zion where he had that nice gain, number 5, I think it was, or somebody else had hands up and barely missed the ball. That time they actually got a hand on it. So,
but now's the time when you fake the short and you do a give and go. You do the fake and then you just throw it right down the sidelines to JoJo Adams, who has the speed. Throw to the outside. Speaking of JoJo Adams, he's going to have a blocker, but number 10 went past, and that was Jeremiah Herndon. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's 3rd down and 10 now. And if it was 4-down territory back at the 46, I believe at the 32, it's going to be 4-down territory as well.
I imagine that it very well is 4-down territory. So two plays might go into your thinking and your mindset here. We got 2 plays to pick up this first down. Now, JoJo got torqued around pretty violently on that last one. I think the coaches wanted to see maybe a flag thrown there.
Twins to the right, JoJo far out to the right. And Holmes going to roll to the right-hand side. Has the receiver, incomplete pass. And I believe that was that Joe? No, that
Zion.
was Zion.
Yeah. He did a great job coming back to the ball, giving his quarterback a target. And Austin he's not back down from throwing the ball into a crowd.
No.
Yeah, that's the right call. He did not get steps or put the ball away before it was knocked out of his hand. Well played by the defense to knock it out.
What do they say? He didn't make a football move.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the rules, the language of the rules at the high school level. But, the last several years have been interesting on what's a catch and what is not.
Holmes back. He's
Too much
scrambling
time.
out.
Oh,
and
look at that.
We're going to have a flag. I was wondering if that was going to come. That's going to be a pass to the sidelines.
There, too.
And little inadvertent contact, I believe. I think he tripped. And, yeah.
It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Actually, the penalty is declined. First down, Mount Pleasant.
Right. I was wondering what was going to happen on that.
Well, that Whitehouse was a little gleefully throwing that penalty for holding. Not so interested in throwing the penalty for the shot to the head that Austin Holmes took after he threw the ball.
Well,
but we're not here to complain about that. So 4th down, that's a turnover on downs, and Whitehouse defense is going to have to come back out and do some damage like they did before.
Well, they should be still on that a little bit of an upward momentum change there. They didn't really be able to capitalize on that interception, but the defense should be able to.
They should have some
do
confidence.
something.
They should be playing with a little confidence right now.
First down and 10, 32-yard line. Cook in the backfield, hands off to Grant. Grant going nowhere.
Great job. Great job, Willingham there. Carter playing that linebacker position, breaking in, getting a hold of him, and not letting him go.
And especially from a guy like Tony Grant, who's had a ability to break tackles all night tonight.
Yeah.
So a great job to hold on and make that tackle.
So one of the things that I'm seeing from up here is that defensively, Whitehouse is bringing a safety down as an extra linebacker and playing with only one deep safety. That gives them one extra player closer to the line of scrimmage, but it does leave them vulnerable potentially on a deep pass.
And there's a pass. Good catch. Almost lost it. That was by Loudon. Or Loden, excuse me.
And those defensive players for Whitehouse out there schemed up against those big blockers for Mount Pleasant, doing everything they can to try to fight through or make a play where a guy's catching the ball and he's got a little bit of space with blockers in front. That's actually a really good job right there to make that tackle and make it 3rd and 4.
And it was really an unfortunate, not unfortunate event. It was just a great catch by Jaden Loden. And But you're correct. Good defensive-wise play on the ball by the Wildcats. Man in motion is Cheatham. Moves to the left-hand side of the line. That's going to be a handoff to McCoo. Trying to find an open hole and gets hit and brought backwards.
Oh.
And just
Don't
shy.
do that.
That's going to be Xavier Dudley that grabs him from behind and keeps him from making that first down. He's going to be just about a yard shy of the line to gain at the 41-yard line. I believe that's where they're going to mark him.
Yeah, somebody in the pile there after he passed the pile reached back and grabbed him, pulled him backwards, did not allow them to get the first down. Now this can be 4th and 1, and it's difficult to cover the entire field, but the first thing you need to make sure is they don't just plunge the ball straight forward right through the middle of the defense.
So Cook back, shotgun formation. There's the snap, and they brought a line, and that's going to be a free play for the Tigers. And it's a catch. And that is caught by Deuce Thompson.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where the ball's severely underthrown, and the defensive back is playing man-to-man. Man-to-man, and so he's got his back to the quarterback, and so the advantage is with the wide receiver who can see it's underthrown, stop, come back, and make the catch. And it looks bad, and it's just unfortunate at that particular point in the game. I mean, they'd had the first down anyway because of the offsides penalty, but that just looks bad, unfortunately, for Whitehouse.
First down and 10 from the 35-yard line in Whitehouse territory. Cook, shotgun formation. Grant in motion. There's the snap. Handoff to McCoo to the left-hand side. Finds a hole. Breaks through. Is caught by Xavier Dudley from behind, but drags him a couple of more yards for a 9-yard gain on the first down play.
Yeah, and however Whitehouse is choosing to scheme this up, this look, because they're moving a lot on the defensive line, and they're responding to the way that Mount Pleasant lines up. Somehow, there's a situation where there's more offensive players than defensive players on the left-hand side, and Mount Pleasant exploited that perfectly on that play and was able to pick up 9+ yards on the first down. 2nd
and 1 for the Tigers. Handoff. McCoo comes up the middle, tries to find a hole, finds one, gets to the 20.
Ball's out.
Ball did hit the ground, but they're calling him down.
No, Whitehouse football.
Oh, no, they did get it. Okay. Sorry about that. And the referees were very nonchalant about that call. I was looking at one of them. He didn't really make the call very well. So it is a turnover, and the Wildcats have it. And that's another turnover for the Wildcats. So we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas.
Getting on the ball really quick. Another first down. Handoff up the middle. That's going to be, I believe, is that Franklin or is that, yeah, that's Robbins on the carry.
And
Caden Robbins.
Mount Pleasant was coming with the blitz on that one and blew that up in the backfield, unfortunately. They've decided they're not going to be scared of the pass, and they are going to bring a lot of players forward against the run.
All right, JoJo with the catch, and he's going to make only about 4 yards on the play.
I know he got hit in the face mask. I don't know if they're going to call it because it was just contact with the face mask as opposed to grabbing.
And that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. We're going to head to the fourth quarter when we get back. We got the final quarter of the game. Don't go anywhere. We got a good one here. Even though it's 14-0, the Wildcats have the ball. They're making moves. We'll be right back.
Today's real estate market is loud. Rates are up, homes sit longer, and your cousin's advice is straight from TikTok. You don't need someone to sell you something. You need someone to walk you through it.
I'm Jamie Whitley, your local expert in the calm in your real estate storm. If life's telling you it's time to make a move, I'll help you do it without making you lose your mind or your money. Let's find your next move together.
We're back here at Wildcat Stadium. Wildcats will have the ball starting the fourth quarter. They're deep in their own territory, sitting at about the 16-yard line. 3rd down and 8 to go. Holmes in the backfield. Low snap, gets it. Looking for a receiver, has one down the middle of the field. It's JoJo with the catch. And he's in midfield into Tiger territory. Beautiful catch.
He is fired up, and he should be. Finally able to kind of find the same page on that one, and he goes up and makes the play right over the defender. Beautiful catch. And they'll give him some extra yards there, too, on top of it. Outstanding.
Yeah, let's not take away from Holmes either. He did a great job of placing that ball.
Very decisive, throwing that ball, put it up there for his receiver to go get it.
First down and 10 from the 46-yard line in Tiger territory. Holmes, pistol formation, handoff up the middle.
There we go.
A good, about 3, maybe 4, depending on where they put it. That's going to be Jacaden Robbins on the carry for the Wildcats. It's a 3-yard gain. And Robbins, we haven't called his name much tonight.
No, we've got players playing interesting positions tonight. I saw defensively there was a lot of offensive linemen rolling out there on the defensive line, which was good. It provided some serious size and helped slow down the momentum of Mount Pleasant.
Twins to the right, JoJo Adams far right. Holmes in trouble, he's down, and a big loss.
That was a good look there. That was a good idea. They snuck Jackson Gary across the formation. The problem was that they weren't really blocking people as they were moving them across the formation. And Mount Pleasant had too many free runners, and they were not able to even get set up to throw the ball. And this is what you want to avoid when you're trying desperately to move the ball down the field. You're trying to avoid negative plays. And that was a big one, unfortunately, on 2nd down.
That's a 10-yard loss for the Wildcats. So that'll put them at 3rd and 17. Back in their own territory. Holmes by himself, and the screen just did not work. It gets slapped down by Nehemiah Savage.
Yeah, this pass rush is now giving some very serious problems to the Wildcats. Able to no resistance up front, unfortunately.
And
Whitehouse going to have to punt here.
Yeah, this is not your 4-down territory situation here.
No.
If you're the Wildcats.
No, this is a good call. This is wise.
And so you have Jaden Lowen is going to be stationed at about the 25-yard line. And here's the snap. High kick. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 31.
And we had the thought that perhaps Austin Holmes playing a lot at the quarterback position might affect how he punts the ball. And he's definitely not as sharp and deep with the punts tonight as we've seen in the previous games. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the reality of there's only so much energy that you have in your body. And when you're using it play after play after play to run the offense, you're not going to have as much when it comes time to kick. The defense, here's their opportunity to make another stand.
1st down and 10 for the Tigers at the 31-yard line. Cook was under center. He's going to hand off to Grant. Grant's going to get a second wave after he gets stalled and up the middle. But he's going to get about an 11-yard gain and a 1st down at the 42-yard line.
Able to hide behind that big offensive line and just wait for a second for things to clear, find himself a path, and come downhill and pick up a bunch of yards there, unfortunately.
1st down and 10 at the 42. And the clock is running 9:40. And the Wildcat defense needs to get another turnover here.
They've been on the field a lot. They've played well, but they've been on the field a lot because the offense hadn't given them much of a break.
Under center. And a handoff again to Grant. Grant trying to get to the outside. Only gain about 2 on the play. And getting back up. They're doing a lot of I formation things right now. McCoo is coming in.
Yeah, they were just lining up straight power, try to run the ball downhill. Nothing fancy. Not try to trick, not try to just exert their power and kind of lean on and break the will of the Wildcats. And the Wildcats, to their credit, are not allowing that to happen. This defense is playing strong, regardless of how tired they might be at the moment.
Pistol formation. Cook, handoff, and we get a flag on the play.
Oh.
That's going to be a dead ball foul. That's going to back up the Tigers about 5 yards.
We may have
False
our
start.
next not set long enough penalty.
Start on the offense, number 7. Be a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Oh, they got one of those big tight ends trying to move early.
Cheatham. And so they're going to back them up 5 yards. Second down and 13 now for the Tigers.
And here is a chance for Whitehouse to do something. Turnover right here, if they're able to force a turnover, would be fantastic.
And there's another handoff. That's going to go to McCoo. McCoo's going to get to the outside of the tackle on the right-hand side. Gain of about 5 on the play. Maybe 6, I think. It'll be third down.
That's unfortunate. They had a hand on him in the backfield there, just not able to grab Jersey and stop momentum. Pickens seems to be in the right place a lot, but unfortunately only able to get a hand on a ball carrier. And that's not going to do it, not with the power running that we see from Mount Pleasant tonight.
Third down and 7 to go for the Tigers. Cook is going to be underneath the center. Nehemiah Savage in the fullback position. And I believe it's going to be Grant in the backfield. Grant's going to get the carry up the middle, gain of about 3. And it'll be 4th down and 3 to go for the Tigers. And the clock's still on the move.
This is an interesting choice for their coach to make. See what he trusts more, his offense or his defense in this position. Looks like he's going to trust his defense, and they're going to punt this. Again, special teams, not so special for Mount Pleasant this year. Whitehouse with an opportunity here. JoJo back to receive this one.
And so with 4th down and 3 to go, the Tigers just running it down, and I think they're going to take a penalty. No, they didn't. And they're going to fake it, snap directly.
Dudley sniffed that out and put an end to it before it got anywhere.
They snap directly to Amari Peters.
That's a
who
big boy to
didn't go
snap the ball
anywhere.
to.
Yeah.
That was a big boy versus big boy moment, and Dudley was up to the challenge there, taking down the big tight end in the backfield on the fake punt.
And I think the coach wants the call for a delay of game, but he's not going to get it. And so it's going to be a turnover on downs.
That's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
And Whitehouse literally cannot help but shoot themselves in the foot every opportunity.
I didn't even see
get.
a flag. Did you?
Well, here was the deal. They put JoJo back there to return this punt, and I think perhaps that wasn't part of the normal substitution routine, and so it wasn't quite sure who should come off the field, and nobody did. So they ended up with 12 out there.
But, yeah, I still didn't see a flag, but I agree they may have. Did they count before or after the play?
Who knows? Who knows?
So now a 1st down and 10. They do their little tight end shuffle. Cook, handoff to Grant to the right-hand side. And he's going to get about a 6-yard gain, maybe 7, depending on where they spot him. It's going to be a 7-yard gain.
Now, see, those 3 tight ends are all on the edge, and they're going to be blocking downfield. That's where the defensive line needs to say, okay, we're going to slant hard against the run to the right and be able to put some pressure at the point of attack at the edge. And there just wasn't any on the defensive line, unfortunately. So that's an easy 7-8 yard gain right there. And if Mount Pleasant is smart, they'll just keep running that play until Whitehouse decides they're going to do something about it.
2nd down and 3 for the Tigers. Cook is in the pistol formation, and he's going to hand off again to Grant. Grant bouncing around, trying to find a hole. He's hit. And he's hit about a yard, he makes about a yard gain, but that's about all he's going to get. He goes back further. But forward progress is going to get him a yard on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 2.
That was most definitely not how that play was drawn up. I don't think I've ever seen a play drawn up where the running back runs in a circle through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's what he did.
He was just looking for a place to go, and ended up being a good play for Whitehouse. Here's a 3rd down, a chance to do something.
They got that big formation there, 3rd down.
This time they're going to push.
Yeah, they're trying, and I'm not sure where they're going to mark it. The referees are moving forward, kind of zigzagging on the line, so let's see what they call.
We got the high school version of the tush push here.
And
yeah, that's
the first time I've ever seen the chains move before the referee moved them.
Yeah, we saw some very crisp, sharp, decisive, definitive officiating in some of the early games. I don't think I've ever seen an official tie a player's shoe either before.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We haven't seen that the last couple of weeks, and especially not tonight.
1st down and 10 for the Tigers. It's going to be handoff. Grant, left-hand side, trying to find a hole. He's hit!
Spilled.
And he is upended.
Carmelo Perkins decided enough of this. I'm going to come up and spill that ball carrier, and he did. Helmet flying.
And Grant's got to go out for
he does.
a series. And I believe Lowen is going to come in for him.
And I really hope when you see individual play like that, I hope that fires up that whole defense and they decide, we're tired right now, we're getting ground down on defense, but we're going to put a few plays together and fight here and stop this drive.
Yeah, McCoo to the right of Cook. Cook, handoff, McCoo, and he gets hit in the backfield. And a good pressure.
Perkins doesn't just get a hand on him, gets both hands on him and brings him down.
Wow.
And they're playing for each other right now, and I love to see that.
That was
fantastic.
fantastic.
To see that. One guy steps up, makes a big play, and his teammates say, I got you. I'm going to do it too.
Yeah, like you just said, you hope it and it did. It did exactly what you wanted it to do, and they did exactly
what we want right here. Now we got to be smart on 3rd and long. We can't get so emotional that we forget assignments and start trying to be a hero out there.
And you can't over-pursue, and that's what can happen on the defensive side of the ball is you can get there and over-pursue.
Mount Pleasant going to let the clock run out, call timeout, it looks like. Yep, here we go.
And all right, so they're going to take a timeout. So are we. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Back here at Wildcat Stadium on homecoming night, and the Wildcats have made 2 huge defensive plays, and Mount Pleasant had to call a timeout. Now they're going to have to come out again on a 3rd and 13. Now they are in Wildcat territory. Whitehouse down 14-0 with 3:49 left in the ball game.
And I know those coaches are telling the Whitehouse players, you got to be smart here. You got to play your assignment. Can't give up anything easy. Can't do something stupid. You got to be ready for the reversal. Got to be ready.
Cook in the backfield. McCoo in motion, fakes the handoff, and he's hit it. And he's taken down as Cook couldn't get anything going, and that's Mosley.
Samaje there making an appearance again on defense, and another big play.
And the
Incredible.
Wildcats are going to take a timeout after 3 big defensive plays and a 4th down. We're going to take a timeout with them. We'll be right back.
Today's real estate market is loud. Rates are up, homes sit longer, and your cousin's advice is straight from TikTok. You don't need someone to sell you something. You need someone to walk you through it.
I'm Jamie Whitley, your local expert in the calm in your real estate storm. If life's telling you it's time to make a move, I'll help you do it without making you lose your mind or your money. Let's find your next move together.
And we are back. Wow, Chris, a lot of just huge defensive plays over the last 3 plays, and now the Tigers are 4th down and long, or or I would say 4th down and troop, going that way. But yeah,
Step 1, make sure you've only got 11 guys on the field here for the return. Step 2, if we get a chance to lay out and put hands in the air to block a kick, let's do it here.
and watch Amari Peters because they snapped to him last time. Here's the punt. That's going to be high end over end. And
we're not going to touch it.
That's going to go out of bounds, I believe, at the 14, maybe, no, at the 17-yard line. And that's where they're going to put it.
All right, 83 yards ahead. A lot of green grass in front of you. Let's go offense.
Yeah, so 2 timeouts for both teams left. Wildcats will have the ball. And a long way to go, but short time to get there, of course. However, 3 minutes and 30 seconds is not really, it's not really short, but it's not really long. They can do a lot of damage in 3.5 minutes.
Austin Holmes, I imagine, here is going to want to throw the ball to one of his 2 playmakers outside, Zion Alexander and JoJo. Both of them done a good job catching the ball today. Offensive line is going to need to block. Give him a chance to be able to make those throws. We know he'll do it. He's thrown it up there tonight.
Well, let's see how it goes. Holmes in the backfield. Takes the snap. 1-step drop. Throw to the outside. It's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's... If they're going to try to throw quickly, they're going to get hands up. This is a well-coached defense. They know if you can't get to the quarterback, get hands up. Offensive linemen need to punch him in the gut. Not literally punch him, but a nice blocking technique punch right in the gut. Get their hands down.
And Brandon McCoo has already shown that he's got a vertical, and he can get up high and knock those balls down. He's done it twice.
Yeah, he's affecting the passing game definitely from that defensive end position.
And they're keying on where JoJo Adams is. So you've got to try something different. Holmes to the left-hand side. Throws to JoJo Adams. Does he make the catch? And he does. No, he doesn't. Incomplete pass.
It was beautiful effort.
It was. He dove out. I was waiting. The referees waited a little bit to make the call, but ended up being an incomplete pass. Now you have 3rd down and 10. Clock has stopped.
Well, Keith, you called it there. They said they need to do something to take McCoo out of the picture so that he can't knock the pass down. And they did with the little half roll. Just it's difficult to roll to your left as a right-handed quarterback and be able to situate your body properly to throw that well. And, we see that at the highest level. Very difficult at this level to be able to do that.
Here's the step back. He's in trouble. Holmes breaks it. Tries to make, and he just throws it nowhere. Throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, getting rid of the ball there. All of his receivers were on the other side of the field, and there's no way he was going to plant and throw back. That's ill-advised, and he recognized that. Yeah, throw the ball away. Live to fight another day, 4th down. Now, it's 4th and 10 deep in their own territory, but there's only 3 minutes left in this game. So Whitehouse here probably going to do what seems on the surface like a crazy thing and go for it on 4th and 10 at their own 17.
But you have to do what you have to do. And they're going to take a timeout. We're going to take one with them. We'll be back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Back here at Wildcat Stadium. And the Wildcats are going to be coming out shortly out of the timeout. It'll be 4th down and 10 with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left in the ball game, down by 14. And just a rough set of circumstances throughout the ball game for the Wildcats. They, take a little Paula Abdul situation, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back,
Yes.
and just can't make things go.
Yeah, a lot of self-inflicted wounds with penalties. A good play on defense for the interception for Mount Pleasant late in the second quarter. Good job getting the hands up and knocking balls down. Whitehouse they're fighting. I love it though.
Holmes, 3-step drop, trying to find something, gets hit in the head and tries to break it, still on his feet, but gets knocked down. He takes a good swap to the head as he moves out of the way, and it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, that play took too long to develop, and you're not going to have that much time in a 4th and long situation where they're coming after you. That's just that's more of an experience thing right there for a guy making his first start in a very tight game.
And so now it's 3 minutes, 11 seconds left. The Tigers are going to have the ball deep in Wildcat territory. 1st down and 10 from the, I believe, 11-yard line. And, what do you do, Chris? Do you break the brack and go into the end zone, or do you just run the clock?
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they do anything other than line up those big tight ends and run behind them here.
Yeah.
Emphasizing safety, ball safety, ball security.
Yeah, they have Landon Cheatham in the backfield along with Tony Grant. And Deuce Thompson gets the ball, and he makes a cut and into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Pleasant.
That works too.
Yeah,
You've got that.
Bring him off of motion, and hand it off to him, and he gets into the end zone.
Yeah, unfortunate for Whitehouse there. All of that positive momentum, all of the great play by the defense to keep Mount Pleasant out of the end zone here in the second half. Fighting, and then the offense not able to get anything started. Very tough to defend the end zone, especially at this point in the ball game.
Avila is back for the point after attempt. Here's the snap. It's good. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So just like that, 21-0, 3:05 left in the ball game. We'll be right back.
Today's real estate market is loud. Rates are up, homes sit longer, and your cousin's advice is straight from TikTok. You don't need someone to sell you something. You need someone to walk you through it.
I'm Jamie Whitley, your local expert in the calm in your real estate storm. If life's telling you it's time to make a move, I'll help you do it without making you lose your mind or your money. Let's find your next move together.
We want to thank you, as always, for being part of our broadcast tonight and watching tonight's game. And for myself, it's been a pleasure to be back at Whitehouse to be able to do this. And, of course, next week Josh will be back in his old spot. I've kept it warm for him as best as I can. And I just want to thank you all, thank Chris and Zach and Nathan for letting me be a part of tonight's game.
Yeah, Keith, it's good to have you here. Good opportunity for you to come home on homecoming night.
Oh, yeah.
Here's JoJo.
Yeah, JoJo Adams is going to get it. He's going to try to break a tackle. He does break one. Almost loses the ball, but keeps it and doesn't quite make the other one. Jaden Finley for the Tigers brings him down. Gets to about the 26. Makes a fairly good return and wanted to make something happen and just couldn't do it.
So if you're a Whitehouse fan, you're watching this game, it's clearly disappointing. This is not the result you want to see. The 0 on the scoreboard, I think, hurts more than anything else in looking at this game in the whole. It'd be fantastic if the offense here could break something and put points on the board. Mount Pleasant's probably going to play very sound, just basic defense to prevent anything like that from happening. But we'll see what happens.
Holmes rolls out to the right-hand side, has a receiver, and it's picked off by the Tigers, and that's going to be a pickoff by Deuce Thompson.
Yeah, defensively, it looked like they had a very keen idea on exactly what Whitehouse was going to do there, and that That linebacker actually ran the route right in front of the wide receiver and was able to pick that off.
And so now after the turnover, the Wildcats back on defense in their own territory, 1st down and 10. The ball will be placed at the 31-yard line.
And this is one of those gut check times because I don't think Mount Pleasant is just going to be content to take a knee and run out the clock here. They're going to look to put the ball in the end zone. Whitehouse is going to have to play for some pride and some respect and for each other out there on the field.
And we know, and I want to go back to what you were saying just a minute ago, and I think I've said it before to you. I think that 0 on the board is misleading as to how Whitehouse has played in this entire game. I think that that's sad that it's there, but it does not begin to talk about the caliber that they played tonight. They played very well, as that handoff is to the big man, number 18. That's going to be Amari Peters, and he's going to rumble and tumble.
Yeah, he's very capable of breaking tackles.
9 yard. Yeah, he really is. Got a little, bus there going.
Yes.
And a gain of 9. But anyway, what I was just saying, so don't let that 0 fool you as a Whitehouse fan or, even as a Wildcat player coming back and watching this later. That they played fantastic. It's just things happen, and you got to learn from it and move forward.
Yeah. Very good in spurts, lots of positives. There's no moral victories. That's not true.
Right.
But there is the opportunity to grow and learn from this. Some more practice, some more opportunity for Austin and JoJo to get on the same page. As a receiver, JoJo lining up as a receiver, they can do some things. They can create some offense that way.
And that was Peters again. And
we got the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Handoff. That's going to be the big man again. Amari Peters.
Goodness, broke 5 tackles. Yeah, you're not going to tackle someone like him up high. You've got to go through the legs, and you got to bring your legs with you. Grabbing his legs ain't going to do it.
And that's going to put the Tigers at about the 6-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal now. And Peters still in the backfield, so I imagine they'll go to him again. Handoff again.
Oh.
And a little penetration there.
That ball was bouncing around there. Not a clean handoff.
Yeah. I believe that was Kadavian Pickens who was first on the scene.
Yep, he was in there to put a hand on him.
And so there's a loss on the play. Excuse me. Loss of 3. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 9-yard line.
Well, they're not hurrying to the line, so...
And I believe that the coaches are just going to let it go down and take as much time off the clock as they can. Because I don't know. I don't know if they're going to victory formation it or if they're going to try something. I haven't figured that out yet. They're not victory formation.
We got a delay of game call here. They're content to take it.
I think they're going to time out. Oh, they're going to take delay of game.
Yeah, they're probably just going to take a knee here out the rest of the game.
Yeah, because Yeah,
There's no
this will
need.
be you take a knee twice and the game is over.
No.
So we'll see what they do.
Now, Mari Peters there, I'm sure, was hoping to get himself in the end zone and get a touchdown. But,
Well, and this
hey,
looks
a
like
win
it's
is a win, and you got to be happy with that.
Peter's way back, and they're just going to take a knee and let the clock run out. And so there'll be one more snap for the Tigers. But again, as we were talking before, I believe that you can't. This is a game that in my opinion, and I won't be broadcasting any more Whitehouse games, but I do watch them while I'm broadcasting other games. But this is a game I feel that the Wildcats can go back and they can look and they can build off of to do great things throughout the remainder of district and not take this loss as something to look down upon, but to grow upon. And like you said, there's no more victories, but there is growing pains, so to speak, that they can build on.
Yeah, this hurts. I mean, if you're a Whitehouse fan, homecoming night, a lot of excitement. Here's an opportunity playing against a team that hadn't won a game yet. Here's our chance to start things well in the district. Reminds me of my senior year when I played. My freshman year, our team won the state championship. My sophomore year, we went back and lost in the state championship. My junior year, we lost one game in district, and back then you had to win district to go to the state playoffs. So we were an 8-2 team overall with one district loss and didn't make the playoffs, which is kind of a crazy concept if you think about it now. And then my senior year, over the course of the first 5 or 6 games, I think 5 or 6, 7 seniors got hurt, and we ended up literally going 1-9. I didn't even finish the season. I spent, the first 4 games. I was at the hospital at the end of the game, and then that was it for my season. And it was frustrating. It was difficult, but there's this dynamic that exists, and that is that you play out there, you play for each other. And so, when the chips are down, when you're frustrated, when you're angry, when everything is going wrong, you're out there because of and for the 10 guys that are next to you on offense, the 10 guys that are next to you on defense. And you truly are brothers, and you lift each other up, and you go and you finish. And it doesn't matter if you finish and you win less games than you thought you were, and you don't make the playoffs, whatever. You go out there and you finish because it's about being a man, it's about being part of a team, and it's about growing when you have the opportunity to grow. I'm not saying this for moral victory because it's not. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
But this team, they fight. They continue to fight. And if they stay there for each other, with each other, and work their way through this, they're going to be able to have some celebration moments. And I really hope that we're able to share that with them this year.
Well, I want to congratulate Mount Pleasant for winning their first game of the season. But, again, I agree with you, is that this is growing points and growing pains for the Wildcats. And I look forward to seeing that, and I know you look forward to broadcasting that.
Yes.
And so, again, I do want to say thank you for letting me be here. I enjoyed this ball game. Josh, again, will be back next week with you all. But I will be off in the Wild Blue Yonder doing other games in other places. But your regular team will be back with you next week. But for Keith Whitman and Chris and Zach and Nathan and all of NETSN, thank you again. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Keeps Williams fights through the yards, breaks some tackles. Williams still on his feet. Williams breaks another tackle. Here he goes. He's got some blockers. Sam Williams, he ain't going to catch him. Touchdown, God. 59-yard touchdown run on 3rd and 2 for Sam Williams.
Yeah, whoa. They get set early, quickly here. Play clock down to 3. Dixon gets it off, low snap. Pickram up the middle, and there he goes. Pickram into the secondary. Pickram is going to go. He is gone. Touchdown. Macho steps up in the pocket, and he gets away from one tackler, avoids another tackler, tries to run. He's still on his feet. Camacho's still on his feet. He's still running. Camacho, goodness gracious, he's still going. Camacho, is he gonna score?
Wow!
Touchdown. Quick pass. Bork adjusts and intercepted, and he caught it.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
He's going all the way.
Oh my God. No,
It's Taylor.
Just let him go. Just let him go.
And a pick six. Kind of stalled him out here. Brisbane got Stewart with a little. Oh, he ran over the defender. The helmet coming off. Holy man. Quarterback Smith. And Smith's in the gun. He's going to go back to pass. Goes out to his left. He's got a man open. It's Bork again. Caught. Bork breaks some tackle. Oh my gosh. He's still on his feet. He's inside the 10. Touchdown, Arp. What? Here we go. 1st and 10. They're going to throw it outside. They're going to double pass here. Going deep. That's Man Scott. What a catch by Man Scott. It's a one-handed grab. He's going to go almost all the way. Just tackle at the one. Highlight reel right there for Man Scott. Oh my goodness, Jason.
I don't think you'll see anything like that.
Woo.
That's not an East Texas highlight reel. That's Sports Center right there.
Man, oh man. What a catch.